It's Good News Toronto with lead anchor Korri Birch.
They say I'm the anchor because I sink the entire show.
Digital media correspondent Medeiros.
If we ever go back to in-person shows, I'll be fired.
And Parliament Hill correspondent Gerald Yeung.
I'm standing in front of Queen's Park because I know nothing about politics or about Canada itself.
And senior meteorologist weatherman Quentin Matheson.
I do the weather and other small talk. How's work?
Food and agricultural correspondent Jeremy Friedmann.
I put the culture in agriculture and the food in my mouth, and then it comes out my butt.
Financial correspondent Shuyi Jia.
Financial? I don't know, Matt. Fuck you.
Financial correspondent Blair MacMillan.
I'm rich in student loan debt.
Regional correspondent for the Spadina McDonald's Jasmine Irwin.
I just saw a pigeon selling ketamine.
Soup correspondent Linda Julia Paolucci.
Oh.
Resident Shrek expert Korri Birch.
Am I sexual? Yeah.
Political correspondent Medeiros.
Everything's so political these days.
Senior correspondent Jeremy Friedmann.
I don't just report on seniors, I also make out with them.
Youth correspondent Blair MacMillan.
Tick-tock goes the clock on my youth. I'm 26 and this is getting ridiculous.
With lifestyle correspondent Gerald Yeung.
I get paid to drink, just like when I was a pilot.
With lone wolf Quentin Matheson.
I'm not here to make friends. I gave up on that a long time ago.
Foreign correspondent Shuyi Jia.
I'm not foreign. I'm Canadian. Fuck you.
Musical correspondent Medeiros.
2, 3, 4.
Fine arts correspondent Blair MacMillan.
Who needs finger paint when you can finger a taint?
Asian correspondent Shuyi Jia.
That's me.
Culture correspondent Jeremy Friedmann.
Some people say I'm not cultured enough for this job, but then why do I have mold growing all over my juice dripper?
Your host, Korri Birch.
I'm the host with the toast.
Correspondent Medeiros.
And I'm a correspondent with toes.
Welcome to Good News Toronto.
And now it's time for the headlines.
I read the news today, oh boy.
Earlier this year, NASA announced that they found water on the moon. Scientists were disappointed after they found out it was Dasani.
An exotic-looking orange bird found in the UK turned out to be a seagull covered in curry. While a disappointment to local ornithologists, it was delightful, paired with rice.
An Idaho man completed 463 juggling catches while riding a unicycle blindfolded. The feat will end up in the Guinness Book of World Records, while the man will end up in oncoming traffic.
A 7-foot alligator was reportedly found in a Florida post office. The alligator has now become the manager.
Helen Sharman, Britain's first astronaut, claims that aliens exist and they live among us, which is just crazy. A lady astronaut?
The Vatican is reporting that Pope Francis is putting aside 7 minutes a week to be bummed out about genocide. Although the Vatican sees this as a huge gesture, it is actually only half the amount of time that the Pope spends a week being sad that other religions exist.
Due to its demographic concerns, China is relaxing its 2-child policy, increasing the limit to 3 children per family, which is great news because I can now disappoint my parents in 3 ways.
Global reaction to China's new 3-child policy has been swift. Wow, I'm allowed 3 kids? Book me a ticket to China, said Prince Andrew.
A recent Gallup poll lists workers in the USA and Canada as the most stressed in the world, with Canada topping the list. So way to go. No one cares harder about dumb shit than us.
A meteorite worth $2 million crashed through the roof of a man's house in Indonesia. When asked if he plans on selling the space rock, the man said he had no comment.
A recent study has found that having a 10-minute conversation on the phone once a week can reduce loneliness in adults who live alone. Which is weird because studies also show that getting an unexpected phone call even once a week makes me feel like I'm going to die.
NASA is apparently distraught about the lack of public interest in UFOs, with the people demanding the only UFO they want to see is an ejected Elon Musk floating through the space dumpster.
A recent study revealed that pigs can be trained to play video games with their snouts. But as I keep telling the researchers, I'm not a pig, and that's not my snout.
Scientists say they can now remove memories from the brains of snails. The scientists say they knew they were successful after none of the test snails could remember their Facebook passwords.
An Australian woman who Googled how to commit murder has been found guilty of committing murder. Meanwhile, a woman who searched how to commit murder on Bing is still trying to get to the second page of results.
Scientists in Nova Scotia have found a way to turn crab shells into biodegradable forks. Sure, you can fork a crab, but you wouldn't want to spoon one.
In an attempt to curb cyberbullying, the terms virgin, incel, and simp have been banned on the video game streaming service Twitch. However, experts fear that without virgins, incels, and simps, no one will be left on the site.
Oregon has become the third state to legalize body composting, a process that allows a corpse to slowly and naturally disintegrate into soil. When asked, Oregonians said, if President Joe Biden can do it, why can't we?
Hot girl summer is apparently going exceedingly well, so much so that the world's oceans now legally qualify as a slip and slide from the excessive use of tanning oil.
In response to increased hate crimes against Muslim Canadians, the RCMP is investigating Canada's largest Islamophobic organizations. These include the Proud Boys, the Sons of Odin, and the Government of Quebec.
A Catholic nun is accused of embezzling $835,000 away from a school to pay for her gambling addiction. In her defense, her OnlyFans wasn't bringing in enough to let her sit with the high rollers. There's a lot of people into wimple play, though.
A recent study found that male lemurs use stink flirting, where they release a fruity smell when trying to attract a mate. That actually makes sense to me because I do the same thing when I'm trying to fuck lemurs.
A woman reportedly shot a nail salon owner because she was unhappy with the cost of a mani-pedi. Meanwhile, I didn't complain after getting a pube in my peanut butter blaster blizzard yesterday. I'm just happy to be outside.
In an attempt to be more inclusive, UK healthcare professionals will start using the term chest milk instead of breast milk, which is a great step towards the future. However, I personally think they went too far when they started using the term groin milk for semen.
A musician in Tampa, Florida, custom-built his new guitar from his dead uncle's skeleton. The guitarist explained, it was a way for him to finally finger his uncle.
According to CNN, Balenciaga stiletto Crocs may sell for as much as $1,000 this summer. Not to be outdone, Louis Vuitton is expected to roll out a limited edition line of lace-front assless jorts.
Scientists recently discovered that platypus fur glows green under a UV light, which of course begs the question, who's been getting groin milk on these platypi?
July 13th to the 22nd, it's the Toronto Jazz Festival, featuring Tito Trompolini, The Barn Owls, Drippy Dick Nelson, Looking for Treble, Lippy Jippy Jones, Brass Bananas, Bitch and Beth Johnson, Fatty Nichols, Stifter of Brandy, Mary and the Mongoose, Donnie Dirtface, The Sugar Nut Sisters, Jumpin' Jazz Flash, Diego Colada, Dr. Bongos, Jelly Belly Bronson, The Washed Up Jazz Bins, Double Breasted Donnie, Saltwater Bill, The Guacamole Twins, Captain Crab Cakes, Satchmo, Leon the Tickler, Noodles Parker, Barry Bellows, She and Jim, Pecker Taylor Woods, Tina Bobina, Ruth Davis, Wolfman Barkley, Kilometers Davis, Harry Nightcourt Poor Old Archibald, Nicotine Splendor, Syncopated Synchronicities, The Red Berets, Leaky Bucket Johnson, Abracapella, Gummy Pumpkins, Sasha Peepers, Jim Garfield Davis, Tommy Bahamas, Spaghetti Bolognese, Cocaine Charlie, Cool Daddy Pixels, Consensual Sax, Nobby Bobbies.
Going back now live to Jasmine Irwin, still at a McDonald's on Spadina. Jasmine?
Hi, Korri. Yes, I think Don Cherry works here now. He just sold me a Oreo McFlurry.
Well, that is a good McFlurry flavor. With Toronto cafes set to reopen, it's time for Caffeine Corner with our resident coffee expert, Shuyi Jia. Shuyi will review the best blends of coffee in the city and let us know what her pick of the week is. Shuyi?
Oh, sorry, Korri. I didn't realize you were still living in 2015. I don't drink coffee anymore. I drink bone broth.
Wait, bone broth?
That's right, Korri. Only basic bitches like you still drink coffee with breakfast. I'm all about the bone broth now. 50% roasted beef bone, 50% nutrient-rich vegetables, and 50% of me being awesome.
Okay, that's not how percentages work, Shuyi.
Doesn't matter. While you're sitting there in your own filth, sucking down your empty coffee calories, I'm sipping pure protein. All the benefits of eating meat without the taste, the texture, or the smell.
Don't listen to this broth bonehead, Korri. Nobody drinks bone broth anymore.
Good. So I'm not a basic bitch then.
Oh, no, you're still a basic bitch. But Shuyi, on the other hand, should jump into a hole and die. All she's doing is supporting the right-wing, misogynistic beef industry with her stupid bone broth.
Okay, I'm going to regret asking this, but what do you drink?
Only the most sustainable animal protein there is, goat broth. Goat broth gives you the best of both worlds, half of the flavor of beef broth, but twice as gamey. Huffy. Yeah.
Well, if it isn't basic bitch Korri and some other people who aren't important to me.
God, Gerald, please tell me that you're not into bone broth now.
Oh no, I've got a much better way of starting my morning. It's called agave broth. It's made from the blue agave plant, which is roasted, fermented, and turned into this wonderfully healthy broth.
Okay, Gerald, you're describing the tequila making process. Have you been drinking tequila for breakfast?
Instead of breakfast, Korri, instead of breakfast. Try to keep up, darling.
Hey, losers, forget everything you know about broth.
Okay, well, clearly nobody here knows anything about broth, so...
Well, great, forget it. I've got broth. It's made from different kinds of broth, all brothed together into a super broth. There's nothing better than broth.
Quentin, why did you add a third broth there?
Oh, that's a side effect from overdosing on protein. It makes me add unnecessary words to the end of sentences. Sweaty parachute pants.
Hey, did somebody say parachute pants?
No, Allie, we're actually talking about broth for some reason.
Oh, okay, cool. Check this out. I've got bean broth. It's made from roasted coffee beans, ground up and boiled until the flavor's almost gone. I call this the double-double.
Oh my God, bean broth? That's amazing.
It's so innovative.
I'd give you a standing ovation, but I forgot how to stand.
So where can we get our own cup of bean broth, random bundled pencils?
Well, I just got mine from Tim Hortons around the corner, but they won't serve pretentious fucks like you guys.
Allie, can you get me a coffee? I'm not a pretentious fuck.
No, but you're still a basic bitch.
Okay. This has been Caffeine Corner with Shuyi Jia. Thanks.
This song goes out to everyone in Toronto. And actually the entire province of Ontario. I'm sorry. I forgot that there was more. I'm so sorry. We're all in this together. Sing along if you know the words. Good news, I guess, we're reopen. Doug Ford has really got me hoping that we can go out and enjoy the summer. Cause losing my social skills has been a bummer. I'm sick of talking about COVID, please. I'm dying for a new disease. Cause we're reopen. That's what they said, but they can change it again. So let's celebrate before it's too late. And you can come party if you're vaccinated. Take me to a patio before they close. But after one drink I might take off my clothes. I know that that seem so thirsty and hectic, but I've been single this whole pandemic. So if the lockdown ending is finally true, guess what that means? I am open to. I'm not kidding. I'm reopen. My standards are low and nobody's home. Sorry if that's too much, but I miss being touched. You can come give me some unless you can't take it. Reopen. So go out and get it and later regret it. Still wear your mask, but carry a flask. And you can come party if you're vaccinated. Reopen. That's what they said, but they can change it again. Let's celebrate before it's too late. And actually come on over if you're double vaccinated. Yeah, I guess we're reopened, but no one knows till when. Check the news during the song. They'll have changed the rules again. Maybe it'll all be normal next year. But God, it's brutal out here.
During this difficult time, depression is on the rise. Here to provide some insight on mental health is our own wellness and mindfulness correspondent, Shuyi Jia. Shuyi, how's it going?
I just popped a Valium.
Thanks, Shuyi.
Thanks, Korri.
Getting into Toronto's housing market can feel impossible. And buying a house is more expensive than ever before. A new generation wants a place to call home. The DIY kings, the plant moms. If you're a young Torontonian who's kept from adulting by high home prices, you're not alone. But what if we told you that everything you needed to qualify for a mortgage has been inside of you all along? And no, we're not talking about determination. If you're like millions of other Canadian millennials, you are carrying around organs that you barely medically need, but that are worth thousands on a bustling global market. So why not do yourself a solid and liquidate your inner wealth? At Organic Realty, we help you leverage your natural assets to achieve the impossible, home ownership in Ontario. All it takes is one simple procedure and we'll do the rest. The down payment will be in your bank account before the catheter is removed. Talk to one of our certified organ doulas about which procedure is the best fit for you and your chosen family. Trade your extra kidney for a chic condo. Take a small slice of your liver and get a trendy townhouse. And with only one of your lungs, you can get a home that was worth 3 times less in 2006. And while you're under, if you give plasma, we'll throw in an air fryer. You've given them a home, let your organs return the favor. Because not everyone can have wealthy parents, but most of us are born with enough body parts. So use them the way that you want. And raise a glass to your new home. But probably only one glass, depending on the procedure. It's mostly the liver thing. Organic living. It takes guts to get into the real estate market.
Now a very special Fringe report with theatrical correspondent Linda Juliet Paolucci. Hey, Linda. I didn't realize that you were a theatrical correspondent.
Oh, don't be silly, Coral. Surely you remember the time I threw a milkshake at you and yelled, "Hamilton sucks!"
Yeah, I do remember that, but I assumed you were talking about the city.
Not with the season the Ticats have been having. Korri, I'm here to talk to you about the Fringe. And no, I don't mean what Scottish people call their bangs.
Why would I think that?
Like cardboard cutout audiences at sporting events and plexiglass at a cum dungeon, Toronto's Fringe Festival has been forced to adapt. For example, our crappy show would have never made Fringe in a regular year.
Okay, rude, but actually the Fringe is selected through a lottery.
That's what they tell the chodes who don't get in.
Okay, Linda, well, why don't you tell us about Fringe in the time of coronavirus?
Sure. So we all know that wine mom shows are the absolute bread and butter of Fringe.
Okay, I'm sorry. What is a wine mom show?
Oh, you know, it's a show where there's a chic young white woman and she loves wine and partying and then she has a baby. And what's this? Little League games, PTA meetings, orange slices, but I love wine. Pedo Mommy, get your tickets now.
Oh, right. Wine mom shows. But what about them?
Oh, they've taken on a bleak pallor. It's hard to laugh at the wine antics of a young mom when you can hear baby hayseed or whatever screaming from the next room, desperate for chicken nuggets and human affection.
Yeah, that does sound pretty bleak.
On the plus side, I haven't forgotten to take my birth control pill once since I saw it.
Okay, Linda, we talked about this.
Alisenia, generic, alas. You're cheap. Your contraception should be too. Sorry, Korri, but I don't get paid if I don't say it.
Okay, why don't we just move along here, Linda?
Okay. Well, Fringe is no stranger to Shakespearean adaptations. For example, King Beer, which is King Lear with beer, or White Othello, or Hamlet, where it's Hamlet, but bad. Anyway, the pandemic Fringe features a feud between the Montezumas and Scipulets, a modern-day retelling of Romeo and Juliet, where the star-crossed lovers are students at rival schools, where one uses Zoom and one uses Skype.
That does not sound good. You're right.
Korri, things are going to be pretty bad for a really long time. A timely show is Coronavirus the Musical. Actually, this one sucks so much, I'm not even going to touch it. Just thinking of all the people who've had to say goodbye to their family members during this hard time and all the people who've lost their life's work just to watch some Sheridan Dropout sing a song about rough sex on Zoom. Finally, in a Fringe special event co-sponsored by Google, the audience's location information will be shared with the performers, who will then break into the audience's homes, not to rob them or murder them. It's much worse, to bring back theatrical audience participation.
Sorry, how is audience participation worse?
Have you ever made eye contact with an actor? There's nothing there. It's very chilling.
Okay, I gotta stop you right there. Linda, I'm an actor. Linda, I'm an actor. I've been in a bunch of things. You've seen me on... Linda?
Alisenia, generic, alas.
No, you can't do this, please.
You're cheap.
Okay, Linda?
Your contraception should be too.
Okay, I get it. You have to say the entire thing before you get paid. Okay, Linda Julia Paolucci, everybody.
Hey, stupid! Are you tired of eating the same boring food every day? Well, check out this new taste sensation. Boom! Sesame oil! That's right, it's sesame oil, you loser! Sesame oil makes everything more flavorful, more exotic, and more Asian! Boring old chicken, just add sesame oil, and you've got crispy Asian stir-fry. Old flank steak? Add sesame oil, and you've got Asian beef and broccoli. Plain vanilla ice cream? Add sesame oil, and you've got an inedible mess that's still more Asian. Cheap vodka? Add sesame oil, and you've got why dad had to leave mom. But wait, there's more. Sesame oil isn't just for food, you fucking worm. Sesame oil makes everything more Asian. Sucky boy band? Boom! Sesame oil. Pedestrian romantic comedy? Boom! Sesame oil. Tone-deaf white actress unaware of her own privilege? Boom! Sesame oil! So don't be a worthless piece of shit who's no good to nobody. Get sesame oil and get more Asian! Sesame oil. Sesame oil. Sesame oil. Not sold with other oils.
We check back in now with Jasmine Irwin still at a McDonald's. Jasmine.
Hi, Korri. Yes, I'm here at the Queen and Spadina McDonald's. There's a huge ruckus going on. Someone found a infant's tooth, an animal tooth maybe, in their junior chicken, and their compatriot is upset that their junior chicken did not, in fact, come with a tooth.
July 27th to the 31st, it's the Beaches Jazz Festival, featuring Bebop Mingus, Chester Cheetah, Juan Van Jean, The Hot Mics, Hot Mama Maria, Dinah Washington, Bucktooth Betty, Jean-Michel de la Jazz, John Smith, The Manson Family Band, Ginger Pepper, Lester Chester Brown, Corky Pickens, DJ Salinger, The Horn Dogs, Walter Gibraltar, Old Brown Buick, Fisheye Simmons, Owen the Cannibal, Fireball Fred Smith, What's Over There, Tricky Nicky Jones, Donna Winters, Chico Madness, Lula Hula Hoop, Miles Davis, Visions of Miles, Reading Banjo, Jumpin' Jenny Sato, Bobby Bickerton, Ratatatoni, Percy Dankworth, Foxy Peppers, Big Johnson Bronson, Clarence San Diego, Dancing, Shambhala, Blue Midnight, Dennis the Clarinetist, Foxy Frankie Jones, Clowns, Sassafras, Willie the Twist, Bowtie Daddies, Christian Fogg, Juicy Peters.
And now for an award-nearing segment, WTFTO.
Yo, WTFTO.
In a shocking move, Toronto has begun gentrifying the city's encampments. You can now enjoy a one-bedroom tent in a city park for only $2,600 a month plus utilities and enjoy the unique experience of systemic poverty.
Health Canada has discovered a critical health risk in Ontario schools. Thankfully, it's not COVID-19, it's just lead in the water. So finally, things are back to normal.
T-Bear's Creamery in Windsor, Ontario has apologized after refusing to put Canada's Drag Race star Jimbo on a cake. If you didn't want to make gay cakes, you shouldn't have called yourself T-Bear's Creamery.
Drake has finished building his custom luxury home. It includes everything he dreamed of as a kid: an indoor basketball court, a recording studio, and wheelchair ramps.
Canada's Wonderland is under fire for opening a new Ford coaster. The ride attempts to replicate the emotional ups and downs that the public faced under Doug Ford's handling of the coronavirus pandemic. Every single person who has tested the ride has profusely vomited afterwards for 45 minutes.
The largest cargo shipment in North American history docked in Halifax this month. This is the most exciting thing to have ever happened in Halifax since...
Narcity Toronto has released a list of the best places to propose in the city, with such locales as Casa Loma and the Scarborough Bluffs. For some reason, Dufferin Mall didn't make the list.
Local Toronto bisexuals are celebrating Pride by getting both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Now that's what I call playing for both teams.
Toronto caffeine drinkers can now use an app to rent eco-friendly coffee mugs. The mugs are reusable, but in my experience, if you're renting by the hour, you gotta use a condom.
Will Amos, the Quebec Member of Parliament who was caught getting undressed on camera this year, has now been suspended after being caught urinating during a government Zoom call. So basically, twice in a row now, we've seen the size of his caucus.
Air hogs. They're the hottest toy this season. With their sleek aerodynamic design, you can't deny that they're the hottest toy this season. Air hogs. You'll want to get your hands all over these hogs, but don't get burnt because these hogs are hot. Air hogs. They're the toy with smoking hot curves in all the right places. Air hogs. Don't tell mom you're playing with air hogs. If she won't let you play with the hot stove, she definitely won't let you play with your hot hog. Air hogs. Lock the doors to keep the hot air in when you're playing with air hogs. The hottest toy this season. Air hogs. The toy's so hot, you'll want to f*** it. Air hogs. Raw dog your air hog today.
Raw dogging your air hog is not yet legal in Russia, Tasmania, or the province of Quebec.
Sorry, nerds. Air hogs.
Oh, well, hello there, and welcome to Irregular Wellness Update. I'm your host, Gerald Yeung, and I'm here to impart my wisdom as a personal lifestyle consultant to improve your health and well-being. Joining us today is our special musical guest. He is the least problematic celebrity from the 70s and 80s that we could find on short notice. He is, of course, the Starman, the master of reinvention, and the great chameleon, David Bowie. Mr. Bowie, thank you for joining us here today. Oh my god. You mean you wrote Rebel Rebel about me? I knew it. Take that, every guy who swipes left on me on Grindr. Anyways, now it's time for us to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's episode. Today's episode has been brought to you by Plastic Sushi Grass. The plastic grass that protects your sushi from being murdered by other sushi. Does plastic sushi grass count as a vegetable? You, be the judge. That was a mistake. Anyways, now it's time for our most popular segment. Adventures in Relaxation with ASMR. For those of you who don't know, ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. That means I will use the gentle power of my voice, along with soothing, repetitive motions, to enhance your health and well-being. Today, I will be pouring fresh spring water from this charming artisanal carafe into the second, equally charming artisanal carafe. So let's get started, shall we? Some people ask me, Gerald, does ASMR cure depression? Well, sadly, that's a lie. Just like global climate change. I bought this first artisanal carafe from a local farmer's market. I bought the second artisanal carafe from a different local farmer's market. I prefer the second local farmer's market because it was segregated by race and gender. The other day, I had to tell a gay couple that I would not make them a wedding cake. I have nothing against gay people. I just don't know how to bake. It was worth it to see the look on their face. I feel I should stop now, but unfortunately the water has developed a mind of its own. It's controlling me and keeping me alive for 60 years just to do ASMR videos. I am in constant pain. Oh God, please make it stop. Somebody kill me. And that's all the time we have for today's show. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Plastic Sushi Grass, and of course our special guest, David Bowie. And now the water has David Bowie. Possibly for the last time, we now return you to your scheduled programming.
You are not a loser because you're poor. I used to be a poor loser just like you. 3 weeks ago, I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. So I took my 1 nickel and invested in the stocks market. Stocks always go up guaranteed. That's my guarantee. I'm now a millionaire, and I could be spending my time banging the hottest broads from Russia on yachts. But I'd rather spend my time telling you 100% truth on YouTube. For you. Yes, I'm selling you a book on how to be a stocks market trillionaire like me. Stocks market go back to the Jesus period, when Jesus made his disciples all stocks fat cats. Now I can be Jesus for you. I'll show you how to short the stocks market and take your neighbor's money, 'cause he'd do it to you. You do not need to be a smart guy. Give me your email. I'll send stock tips to give you a big dick. Your girlfriend says she's gonna leave you unless you get rich quick. I could take your girlfriend, but I don't want her 'cause I can get tens, and I'm a very classy, nice guy. I've spent hours in deep internet research to uncover the secrets of the stocks. You live in a basement. You live in a basement? I live in 7 basements. Don't die tomorrow, die with diamonds. I have a pool. You're bald as a man, or as a lady, your tits are small. Stocks buy tits, job, and hair. Buy my stocks ebook and your boss will kiss your ass for once. Stocks go up guaranteed. Don't be a sucker. August 5th to the 29th, it's the Western Road Jazz Festival, featuring No Hat Hank, Crushed Velvet, The Four Dakotas, Manic Dixie Dream Boys, Applejacks, Bulldog David Oz, Billy Goat Jenkins, Hi-Hat Ricky, The Hillbilly Swing Band, Jupiter Neptune, Gumshoe Junction, Maria Little Boy Blue, King City Karen, Lil Joe Checkers, The Laffy Saxies, Jesse the Fiddler Death, Slick Uncle Rick, Walks and Fields, Vanessa God Bless Her, Dork Squawks, Jazz Drasenica, Lone Wolf Louie, Dreamboat Donnie Jack, Dead-Eyed Soul, Jackie Fantastic, Smooth Sailing, DJ Jesse Jeff, The Manhattan Music Man, George Blast, Chunky Necklace, Shaken and Stirred, The Kids Down the Stairs, Weird Beard, Wolfman Johnny Jack, Beaver Tails, Rosie Rachel Bottoms, Obi, Party Time Cha-Cha, Wolfman Mike, The Muggsy Brothers, Sforanzo, Nanny Granny Jones, Peaches Regalia, Chicks with Sticks, Cindy Sambuca, Orgasmatic, Smokey Joey Johnson.
Our next story might be the most important story we've ever reported on because it concerns the cure for cancer.
Korri, let me stop you right there because I have a much more important story.
More important than the cure for cancer?
Yeah, Korri. Let me ask you one question. Does everyone on the planet have cancer?
No.
Well, I want to talk about something that everyone does have. Dreams. So I think we can all agree that my story rules and yours fucking drools.
I don't think that's fair.
Dreams. They can be big or small, dry or wet. We hold them in our hearts when we're awake and in our heads when we sleep. The great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. famously had a dream. And in one of the many ways that I'm like him, I too have dreams.
No. You're going to talk about what happens in your dreams? No, nobody wants that, Jeremy.
Every night I have the same dream. I'm in my childhood home, but like in the present, which doesn't make sense because some other family lives there now. And this is real. They changed the white garage door to black. And it's like, what are they, fucking crazy, Korri?
Okay, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. It's their house now, so.
Anyway, I'm in the house. And then from there, it all gets a little fuzzy, and I don't really remember the rest.
That's your important story? The reason that you interrupted me for that?
Korri, shut up. I've got a story that's way more important about whatever you two jagoffs were talking about.
Okay, but I was about to talk about...
Dreams. We all have them. In mine, sometimes I can fly. Other times, I'm peeing, and I wake up with my bed covered in mysterious yellow liquid.
That's piss, Linda. That's piss.
Oh, screw you, Korri. I don't judge your dreams.
Look, I want to do my story, and people keep interrupting.
Hello, Korri.
Gerald, let me guess. You're here to talk about your
dreams. Each of us has our own, but I'm the only one who uses them to hunt and torture teenagers with my bladed claw hands. Arr.
Okay, hold on. That's Freddy Krueger.
No. Freddy Krueger is a knockoff character, highly offensive, done without my permission. One day my lawsuit will not get laughed out of court, and I will be extremely rich.
Congratulations, I guess?
Creams. They moisturize our hands and soothe our rashes.
Actually, Blair, everyone was doing dreams. The D.
Oh. Then forget the thing I said about genital rashes.
You didn't actually mention genital.
Hey, Korri.
What is it, Quentin? What stupid thing do you have to say about dreams or creams or reams?
Reams? Like large stacks of paper?
I don't know. Everyone's just been interrupting me with the stupidest things in the world.
Okay, rude.
We get it, Korri. You think Martin Luther King Jr. is stupid.
No, I did not say that.
It's okay, everybody. I'll slice him up after he goes to sleep tonight.
Nice.
I'm here because I want to hear about your important story on the cure for cancer.
Finally, someone wants to hear about my story. Okay, I know I have the report somewhere here. Is it on here? Oh no, I have a big important story and I don't have my report.
I don't have my report. It's okay, Korri, because guess what?
This was all a dream.
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 No, Korri, it's not a dream. I was going to say it's okay because we're out of time anyway. But actually, you did screw up there. Pretty bad, too. Just really unprofessional.
Really
unprofessional.
Not deserving of opportunity.
Screwed up.
Okay, we'll be right back after this.
This segment was brought to you by Reams. Reams, they're large stacks of paper.
Because of the pandemic, it's been a while since we talked. Are you worried about what your arms are doing when you speak? Are you nervous you can't shoot the shit without losing your shit? Do you forget how to end a conversation without the leave meeting button? You're not alone. From the makers of Duolingo comes Unilingo, the app that teaches you the language you already know, but are bad at now. With just 15 minutes a day, Duolingo takes you through modules that mimic real-life scenarios. For example, the app might ask you to answer, on greeting your neighbor in the hall, you might say, how are you today? Do you think the peas are maybe too small? Or, I have seasonal eczema. Or your friend Nancy just got engaged. You say, is it weird for your fiance that Nancy is such a non-sexual name? Congratulations. Or, I have seasonal eczema. With Unilingo, fluency in non-painful English is just around the corner. Unilingo, only as awkward as you were before.
Yes, apparently there is another incident happening at the McDonald's on Spadina Avenue. Jasmine Irwin.
Hi, Korri. Yes, so I'm here at the Spadina and Queen McDonald's, and I just delivered a baby.
You delivered a baby?
Mm-hmm. It was a raccoon baby, and now it's working one of the fryers.
Well, thank you, Jasmine.
The doors are closing on Bloor, I'll run but never get in. If it's not the yellow line, then I'm never gonna win. The Scarborough RT didn't quite pass the test for me.
Tell me what you want.
I want those brand new trains like in Kyoto, Japan, and seats that pass the test of a homeless man, and a station that meets all the accessibility needs.
Tell me what you need.
I need a Presto card that's got no limit, and a new station with a bathroom in it. Wanna be a part of the inaugural hand job team.
Gotta cruise in the new cars.
I want a brand new palette for graffiti, and bright red seats where I can spill tzatziki when I walk up to the new train after storming off the damn fourth line.
So how you gonna do it?
I'm gonna trust them, they got the timeline right, 'cause instructions construction's going through days and nights. Cause we all just wanna ride the LRT, driving from Mount Dennis down to Kennedy. It's below Shepherd but above St. Clair. Like who knows what the hell happens in there. And we'll ride in the new fancy train, saying gee, this thing is clean, I hope it doesn't change. Every young and egg yuppie's gonna wind up there. Every Scarborough teenager with bleached blonde hair. And well, hey, hey, I want the LRT. Hey, hey, I want the LRT. I wanna walk down Eglinton without the traffic. No more construction, that would be fantastic. Haven't seen the street clear since before 2013.
I took the 34 in high school.
I want a station called Hakimi and Science Center. I'd even be fool enough to check out Laird. Wanna visit Aga Khan Museum with careless ease.
So how you gonna do it?
I'm gonna trust some air, got the timeline right. Cause construction's lasted my whole young life. Cause we all just wanna ride the LRT, traveling from Mount Dennis down to Kennedy. It's below Shepherd but above St. Clair. Like who knows what the hell happens in there. And we'll ride in the new fancy train, saying gee, this thing is clean, I hope it doesn't change. Every young and egg yuppie's gonna wind up there. Every Scarborough teenager with bleached blonde hair. And well, hey, hey, I want the LRT. I'm gonna gaslight every single fair inspector. Gonna wash my ass at the Sandy dispenser. Gonna pronounce all the new station names way wrong. Please, I need this line so I can visit my mom. Cause we all just wanna ride the LRT, traveling from Mount Dennis down to Kennedy. It's below Shepherd but above St. Clair. Like who knows what the fuck happens in there. And we'll ride in the new fancy train, saying gee, this thing is clean, I hope it doesn't change. Every young and egg yuppie's gonna wind up there. Every Scarborough teenager with bleached blonde hair. And we'll, hey, hey, I want the LRT. Hey, hey, I want the LRT.
And now, with a special report on the meat industry, is our own beefy correspondent, Jeremy Friedmann.
Thanks, Korri, but I'm not here just to chew the fat. I'm here because I have a beef with beef. We all know that beef comes from cows, and that cows come from cow porn. But did you know that cows might actually be killing us? And unlike civilized humans with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns in your head, cows are actually killing us with a much more silent but deadly weapon. Their farts. And also, their burps. These fucking cows are killing us out of both ends. In fact, testing has shown that cattle are the #1 agricultural source of greenhouse gases worldwide. Each year, one single cow will produce 220 pounds of methane, and methane is 28 times more potent than carbon dioxide in warming the atmosphere. So what's the solution? Do we kill all the cows worldwide and have one big final beef buffet where we all gorge ourselves on steaks until we're sick and cows don't exist anymore? Surprisingly, scientists say that's not the solution, and that I should stop calling them at 3 a.m. to suggest it. But if a beef buffet isn't going to save us, will eating less beef do the trick? Well, that's what companies like Impossible Foods, Beyond Meat, and Odd Sausage are banking on, as they develop and sell plant-based meat substitutes that look and taste almost like the real thing. But just like with orgasms, I can always tell if it's real or not once it's in my mouth. And while I applaud anyone who is a vegetarian or vegan, especially if they don't talk to me about it, it's simply not a diet I'm ready to commit to just yet. Because meat is, unfortunately, delicious. Still, while I'm not ready to go vegan, I am trying to eat less red meat, partially for the environment, and partially because my buzzkill doctor says if I don't, I might die. Of course, my doctor is stupid, because I'm actually definitely going to die. We all die, except zombies. zombie. Oh, and that stupid doctor? Guess what? She's actually a woman. Take that, sexists. Believe it or not, women can be stupid too. So, if we all start eating less beef, will that solve our climate change problems? Well, turns out it's not that simple. India, for example, has the world's largest cattle population, but the lowest beef consumption of any country. Which means that not only are those cows hanging around farting and burping all day, they're releasing more methane over a longer lifespan. That's why some experts believe the real way to combat cattle emissions is change the very way that cows fart and burp in the first place. No, I'm not talking about doing it into a jar and then mailing that jar to one of your enemies. We've all done that before, and it is satisfying, but it won't solve this problem. Instead, researchers have found that changing what the cows eat might hold the answer. One study showed that by introducing just 1% of seaweed into a cow's diet, they were able to reduce methane emission by 60%. So, if we could make cows all around the world eat seaweed, we might just be able to fight climate change where it really matters. Cow buttholes. Of course, the hard part will be getting all those cows underwater, which is why I'm asking that the next time you see a cow, you push that milk-making fucker into the ocean. Because only together can we hashtag make cows wet. And this time, I'm not even talking about cow porn. For Good News Beef Toronto, I'm Jeremy Beefman.
All right.
The Doug Ford Watch.
It's a big watch with his face on it. You get it. Early in the pandemic, a lot of people were praising Doug Ford for his handling of everything, saying he made the tough decisions like closing schools and non-essential businesses and even working alongside of the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, which was unheard of. That's like seeing Mayor McCheese work alongside Captain Olive Garden. I don't know, do they have a mascot? Some people even felt bad for Dougie because it was clear that he became premier so he could do simple things like buck a beer and give us blue license plate, so I guess license plate for boy cars. Sure, this pandemic was unprecedented and nobody was truly prepared for it, but Premier and Uncle Vernon stunt double Doug Ford made sure that we were specifically underprepared for it by undermining our entire healthcare system. He cut the e-health budget, rolled back pharmacare, and eliminated 14 regional health agencies. He essentially us. He delayed doctors' vaccine reporting requirements and failed to find a solution because some healthcare units still rely on faxes of vaccination proof. You know when this solution would have come in handy? Now, it's like Ontario is a restaurant, and sometimes at restaurants you get an unexpected rush of customers. Meanwhile, Chef Ford over here decides to cut half the servers and throw out most of the ingredients in the kitchen, and then when stuff goes off the rails during this rush, read pandemic, he throws up his hands and says, how was anybody supposed to predict this? Well, healthcare experts, that's who, and they've been telling you this for years. Throughout this pandemic, Doug Ford has failed at every turn. He says he listens to doctors, but doesn't, and then is forced to start switching his positions over and over again. It's like you're the premier, not an Ariana Grande album. Dougie, these doctors know what they're doing, but you're just not listening. You just keep playing politics, trying to keep everybody happy. You're like a kid running for class president, saying you're going to get soda machines in every classroom, and then canceling that, and then telling the teachers that was never the plan. It's clear all he cares about is getting reelected. So instead of doing what was right, he did what he thought would be most popular. But that's the problem, Doug. Nothing you do is going to be popular with everyone, so maybe instead just try listening to the people who know what the fuck they're doing. Maybe then thousands of Ontarians wouldn't have died of COVID, mostly in long-term care facilities, if you'd have taken action immediately instead of waiting. You didn't even make them wear masks in these facilities until it was far too late. I get it. Pandemics are hard. We all just lived through one and are still living through one. You know what's not helping, though? Your constant changing from colors to numbers to emergency stop breaks to rest à la maison orders. And none of them were clear enough or lasted long enough to do anything. As soon as you got any criticism on any of them, you would retreat like a penis in a cold pool. That's not the kind of leadership we need right now. But it's clear you don't care about that. It's clear all you care about is getting re-elected. Which is why at the time of this recording, you're enacting the notwithstanding clause, which helps silence your critics from saying anything about your awful track record, not just on this pandemic, but on all of these issues. And you're doing all of this during the middle of a pandemic, okay? It's not over yet, Doug, but you have already moved on from COVID. You're focused on getting reelected. And that's not even the worst of it. The worst of it is that you pretend to be a man of the people, which you're not, okay? You come from money, you've never had to struggle. You say things like calling people folks and saying, I'm gonna come down on these hooligans like an 800-pound gorilla and I'm gonna paint your wagon red. Look, I'm not even sure if those are expressions, but they're for sure not policies. What you're really looking out for is your friends and their political interests. You've tried hiring numerous friends, and maybe most grotesquely of all, you've spent taxpayer money on just gallons of hair gel. And look, I know that's the kettle calling the pot black, but to my credit, I would have got a haircut if I could, if you didn't mismanage this entire pandemic. Doug, you're not a man of the people. You're a joke, a buffoon, and a failure as a premier. Anyways, that's all the time we have for this segment, but I'd like to show you a clip of Doug Ford stumbling through several languages in what I can only describe as a hate crime to all of them.
Taizai jolly, low fun, high okay. Stare e casa, curre ro, cadete an casa, shalik, fi alabate.